All right, so we're going to be learning SQL today. So what is MySQL? So it's a relational database that organizes data into tables. Um, MySQL stands for My, which is the name of the founder's daughter, and then structured query language. So it's one of the most popular relational databases out there for web-based applications that uses a client-server model. And straight from the AWS website, it's a collection of data items with predefined relationships between them, and these items are organized as a set of tables with columns and rows. So relational databases are usually organized into hierarchy. So like the top layer are all the databases, and then on each database you have a bunch of tables. And a table you can just think of as an Excel spreadsheet, has rows and columns, and that's like pretty much all you need to know to get started today. So this tutorial assumes that you already have MySQL installed on your machine, but if you don't, you can head over to, you can just search up MySQL installation guide and you'll find an entire, hold on, if you'll find like something like this website if I screen share. You'll find this website and then you can go down. And depending on if you have Mac OS or Windows, you can install the package installer. It might take up to like 10 minutes, I'd say, but this will be recorded. This is recorded and this is going to be on the website after. So it's okay because it's all going to be saved. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so the model that's used for MySQL is a client-server model. So basically, the database is run as a server application, and users access the database server via a client program, locally or remotely through a network. So what we're going to be using today, there's a lot of fancy GUIs and a lot of like fancy software that has been invented, like to serve as a client for MySQL. There's SQL Workbench that's really popular, but today we're just going to be using MySQL on the shell, just like on bare bones terminal, because like that's mostly what's used if you need to do something really quickly or like make a few queries like on the go. So before we dive in, we need to actually start a server for the client. So if I do a new share, if you're on Windows, you would type something, you would type this in, you would type, depending on where you installed MySQL, if it's in this directory, if it's in root directory, and then you saved it under my web project directory and then MySQL bin, then you would make this command and start the server for the client. But if you're on Mac, you can go over to, I'm just gonna share screen, hold on. Okay, I think I'm sharing my whole screen. So you can go to Systems Preferences and then go to MySQL, and you have to make sure that the server is started. So that's how you could know if the server started for Mac. For Windows, you would have to type in this command. So basically our overarching goal for today is to import a CSV into a MySQL table and then query the table and like do just like random queries on it. So I think in an email that was sent today, you got a CSV file. So if you could go and save that into your desktop, we'll be able to access that, hold on. Yeah, so if you save it to your desktop, we'll be able to load that CSV file into a table that we create. So first things first, like before dealing with CSVs and anything like that, we'll just create like a dummy database and like populate it with a bunch of data. So I will exit right now I'm in my terminal, so basically I can just close it, and then I can like open a new terminal. So new window. And if you haven't installed MySQL and you will do the following command, you're not going to get anything. But if you have it and you have it installed in root directory, this will work. So you do MySQL u root and then password. So the flag U stands for super user, and root indicates that we're in the root directory, and the -p flag indicates that it's going to prompt us for a password. So we enter, I have a password that I created upon installation. Again, this all assumes that you created a password after you installed it. So now I'm in the MySQL client. And the reason why I'm able to get in is because I have the server started. If you don't have the server started, then an error would pop up. So, okay. So I guess we'll like proceed with like all of our queries. So to see all of our available databases, we just type in show databases. And I already have a bunch of databases in here. So if you've never created a database before, we'll create one right now. So what you could do is in the PowerPoint slide, I have it here. We can write create database if not exists. I'll actually minimize this. Okay, great. So create database if not exists food. This will just create a database called food. And then if you type in show databases again, like we have a new database called food. So in that database, we'll create a table. So create table if not exists ice cream. So this is just a dummy table. We'll populate it with a bunch of data that we will create right now. So okay, so flavor bar chart 255 not null. So basically the formatting is create and then table name, and you have to make sure that it doesn't exist. So you type in if not exist, and then you type in the database name that you want. And then right now we're just creating a skeleton table with 2 columns in it. So the 2 column names are flavor and rating. And so what varchar represents is the data type of all of the variables that are going to go under the column flavor. So varchar just indicates that it's a string, and 255 just means that it could hold at most 255 characters in that string. And we have to make sure that it's not null. So flavor varchar 255 not null. This creates 1 column in the table. And then rating int unsigned not null. Int unsigned just means that it's a positive integer. And again, we don't want any of the entries being null. So upon instantiation, not null means that all of these variables are going to be an empty string, and all of these variables in this column are going to be 0. So rating int unsigned not null. Okay. No. Oh, okay. Oh, before that. Okay. Yeah, I made a mistake. Okay, so we have to use food first. So basically, before you create any table, you have to indicate the database that you're using it in. So we're going to be using the database food. So now we can do the exact same command that we did before. So I can just copy and paste. So flavor varchar not null, and then rating int unsigned not null. Okay, I did another error. Hold on. Okay. You know what? I'll just copy and paste. Okay, that should do it. Okay, so now if we go to show tables, we will have a new table in our database. So this represents just one table, and this represents our database called food. So now we can do whatever we want with this database. So with this table. So in order to, okay, wait, I'll just go to the next slide. So right now, if we do select columns from ice cream, we have an empty set because we didn't even populate our table. So our table is totally bare bones. And right now, all we have is 2 columns. So in order to populate our table, we have a syntax called insert. So we would do insert into whatever the name of the table is, and then the however many parameters for the column tables, and then values. So it would look something like insert into ice cream flavor rating values. And then, okay, so hold on. You can do any data types that you want, whatever data type, I mean, you can do any data that you want. So right now, the formatting is, this will be the first column. All of these variables represent what's getting filled into the first column. So remember, our first column was flavor, and our second column was the rating that we give this flavor. So like whatever, like I don't like vanilla, so I'm giving it a rating of 1. Really like chocolate, so I'm giving it a rating of 10. So okay, so strawberry, like 3. And then Oreo, 9. Okay, so all the data has been successfully inputted into this table. So we can do describe ice cream. Okay, so all what describe means is this is a keyword in MySQL that just describes what the column and entries in the table are. So the 2 columns are flavor and rating. We know that as before, it has strings with at most 255 characters per string. This is unsigned integer, positive integer. None of the values are null. So if we want to look at the table itself, we just do select. The asterisk means that we want all of the columns being selected, and then from ice cream, and ice cream is our table. So, okay, this is what our mini table looks like. So now we can pretty much do like whatever we want in it. We can query like just one column. So we can do select, hold on, something in the chat. All right, so okay, we can select like anything we want. So we can do select flavor from ice cream. And we will just have one column in the entire as being queried. So this is our query. We can also delete a column if we can delete a row if we want. So we can do delete from ice cream or flavor like V, and I'll get into the wildcards a little later. I know this is a little bit like drinking from a fire hose, and I'm giving you all these commands, but everything will be posted on the website. And if you want, there's actually something called a SQL cheat sheet online. Like I don't actually like memorize any of the commands. I just look up MySQL docs or just go on the SQL cheat sheet, and I get all the commands from there. Much more easier, much more efficient. So if you want, we can delete a row. So we can I have like notes here. So delete from ice cream where flavor like V. Okay, so basically what this command does is we want to delete a row from the table. So so the like keyword basically means that you can select any column that you want, and you want to match like a word in that column that begins with the letter V, and it could end in whatever like you want. So in this case, I'm pointing at vanilla. So if we were to do something like delete from ice cream where flavor is like ends in Y, for example, it would be percentage Y and then apostrophe, and like that would be pointing to strawberry. So okay, it's not going to do anything right now because SQL doesn't like backspaces and hold on. What did I do? Okay, it's not cool. Hold on. Ah. All right, you know what? I'm gonna start a new client because yes, a little funky. It usually returns null or something. Okay, I'll delete it really quickly. I think everything's saved. So hold on. Terminate, just start a new client, new window. Okay, MySQL, new root, password. Okay, so show databases. Okay, so use food. Okay, so now we can show tables. Okay, so now we have our ice cream. All right, so what were we doing? We were doing, okay, so we can delete a row from the table. So we would do delete from ice cream where flavor like the percentage sign. Okay, so one row affected. Whenever you have query okay, one row affected, that means something was changed in the table. So we can do select blank from ice cream. And okay, so we have our row deleted from the table. So we can also do something like updating a certain column if we want to. So we can do something like if the rating is less than 5, then we increase it by 1. So we can do exactly that. So in order to update any column or any value in a column, you just press the, you type in the update keyword. So it would be update, and then the table name is ice cream. So it would be update ice cream, and then set rating equals rating plus 1, where rating is less than 5. Okay, so one row is changed. So now we can select anything from the database, from the table. Okay, so now it was increased from 3 to 4. Okay, so now since we are pretty comfortable with dealing with a mini table, we can go and switch gears to importing something from a CSV file, which is a lot more pertinent and most likely going to be doing this in the real world. So I have something on my desktop called Song Data CSV. Everybody got it in an email. So if we go to, hold on. Okay. All right, these are formats. Yeah, I'm going to share this on the website. Okay. Okay, so in order to import a CSV file into a MySQL table, first we have to actually create that table with the columns that match the columns of the CSV. So right now, this is the CSV. It looks like this. So it has 7 columns. So we need to make sure to create a table in another database that matches these columns. So this is in the PowerPoint. And we can, okay, so show databases. Okay, so I already have a database called Song Test where I do everything. So, so for other people that do not have Song Test, you can just do create database. If not exists Song Test. For me, it's not going to work because I already have it. Oh wait, what? It's weird. Hold on. Wait, show databases. Did it override it? Oh, I don't know. Okay, wait, let's check it out. Okay, so use song test. Show tables. Huh, okay, that's weird. I guess it didn't do anything. So, so with the other, so, okay, in order to create a new database, you just do create database and then the table name that you want. And then you write like use, use table, like the table name, or use the database name. And okay, so we have, I already have two tables that have the CSV file. So I'll create a completely new table that will import the CSV file. So, so create table song analysis 3. Oh, okay, this is the completely wrong command. Okay, so we create a table with columns matching the CSV. So I guess we can, I mean, I have it right here, so I would just copy and paste. Okay, wait, actually, if I delete this, it's not gonna do it automatically. So hold on. Wait, I might actually need to do it manually because it might explode. So I'll go over what all of this like jargon means. So we're creating a table right now called song analysis 3 in our database called song test. And for every single column, we have to specify what the name of the column is. So the name of the first column is ID, and we want it to be filled with integers that are not null. And so we also want all of the integers to be like incremented by 1 automatically. So it increments like 1 to 20. And so for the next column, we want everything to be again a varchar, so a string with at most 255 characters. Same thing with artist name. And then with beats per minute, BPM, we want it to be an unsigned, I think I just said integer. So it could be an integer, any integer. Same with liveliness and same with popularity. And there's another catch. So every single database that, or like a table that you create in MySQL has something called a key. And what a key does is basically make every row its own unique entity. So if every single row was the exact same thing here, they would all be, if you didn't have primary key to identify or like differentiate between any of the rows, all the rows would be considered the same. So we need a key to differentiate like all the different rows. So I'll do that right here. So int not null auto increment. And then track name varchar 255 not null, artist name varchar 255 not null. I think I can copy and paste from here. So then BPM. All right, let's try doing this. And then, okay, good. All right, so let's say show tables. All right, so now we have our new table, song analysis 3. And if we look at it, describe song analysis 3, we have all of our fields representing the column names, and we have the column types, and everything is good. So now, now we have to actually import the CSV. I mean, just to do a comparison before and after, we can select like all the data from song analysis 3, and you won't see anything because everything is empty. Wait. Oh, whoops. Okay, so select from. Okay, yeah, so it returns an empty set because there's no data variables in the table. So this is where the absolute file path comes in. So if you're a Windows user, you have to specify the absolute file name of the CSV file on your desktop. So for me, it's going to be this because I'm on a Mac, and so it would be first the user, then the name of my user, then I have to specify that it's on desktop, and then it's and then I specify the actual file name. For Windows users, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but this is what I found online. So and these two lines you would put into this line. So I'm going to do exactly that. I think I have it here. Yeah, okay, so hold on. Okay, there's one other thing. So if you want to import something locally into a table, it might not work because by default, SQL disables all of that in their settings. So I actually ran into this problem before. So you would have to change the flag called local infile and make it 1. So you would have to put this in. Okay, so that means it was successful. So now if we look at, if we show all the variables, so these are all the SQL variables that are put into the client to make sure that, you know, all the flags are right. So we'll just search for a flag called local infile and make sure that it's the number 1. Okay, yeah, so it's on. All right, so we can proceed. And now we can import the CSV file from our desktop into our table. Okay, like you need to restart the session, but I'm not going to do that because it was already on. So we created our table, so that's fine. And now we have to actually load the CSV file into the SQL table. So we're going to do load, whatever this command is. So load data local infile, just copy and paste. And then into table song analysis 3, actually, not 2. Okay, so fields terminated by comma and then lines terminated by n. So that just signifies the formatting of the CSV file. And ignore 1 lines means that we ignore like the very top, the column line, because we don't want to really import this. We want to import like all of this stuff, the actual data, not the columns, because we already created the columns. So we're going to just copy and paste this. And then everything inside of the parentheses just represents the columns that we're going to be putting the data into. So we have 7 columns in our CSV file, and we have 7 columns in our table. And the exact columns, every data is going to just go into its own column. Okay, this better work. Okay. Oh my God. The use command is not allowed with this MySQL version. All right. Okay, it worked before, so I might need to use my other table. I'll just try one more thing. Hold on. Fields terminated by. Huh. Did I do wrong? Ignore 1 lines. Okay, wait, I'll try one more time, but it's weird. Okay, it was working before. If it doesn't work in the next 2 tries, I will go to the other table where I actually have all the CSV information already imported. yeah, so, okay, I'll just do it one more time. Hold on, load data. Yeah, it can get a little finicky, like especially with the different versions of MySQL. They change it like year after year, so like some of the commands like don't work anymore. Okay, local load data, local infile. Okay, so have that. Okay, so my local infile is actually enabled, so this should work. And then into table. Okay, what if I just do it manually? Huh, okay. Okay, so I guess SQL is being mean, so I guess we'll just go to the other table that I used. I am 99% sure I used the same exact command to enter it into the other table, so we'll use that table. So hold on, so go to, okay, so show tables. Song analysis 2, I guess song analysis 3 was not deciding to cooperate, so we'll just use song analysis 2. So basically, song analysis 2 has all the CSV data imported already. So if we select everything from song analysis 2, it has pretty much like all the data plus another additional column that that I created. So we can just like mess around with this table, I guess. It's weird that the other command wasn't working for the other table, but that's fine. So everything is pretty much the same, didn't modify anything. I was just making queries on this table. And making queries on a table actually does not modify the existing table unless it's a specifically modifying query. So one query that I did was just I added an extra column for like personal rating. So we can do that. We can delete that row. We can delete that and then create a new column. So on with our queries. Okay. Okay, so I think almost done with the PowerPoint. Okay, so I didn't include any of the query syntax into this PowerPoint because you can just find it available online. Just search up MySQL cheat sheet and it will pop up. So we're just going to begin querying this giant table, or not so giant because it's only like 20 entries. But okay, so first query that I have is just selecting column from this table where the artist name matches a certain like string matching pattern. So we want our string for artist name to begin with the letter L, whether it's Louis Capaldi or Lizzo or like Lil Nas or like any of these artists. So we can do that query and it's going to return just it's going to return the track names that match this condition. So if we do select track name from song analysis 2 where artist name like okay, so it returned all of the track names where the artist names begin with the letter L. So we can do a bunch of other, I have a lot of examples. So we can do, hold on. Okay, we can also return like all of the columns. This the star again represents just like treat it as the word all. So we want all of the columns from this table where the genre represents this string matching pattern. So if it ends in pop, then like we just want to return like all of the columns. I mean all the rows with like that condition. So so select track name from song analysis 2 where BPM is greater than 100. Oh wait, no, that's the second one. Hold on. I can just copy and paste, honestly, because, or just have it like written down. So, all right, so like that did exactly what we wanted. It got all the track names which end in pop. So, yeah, SQL is a very, very like English friendly language because like pretty much all of the queries are like self-explanatory. It has all the keywords are like English keywords. It's not just a bunch of symbols. So it's very convenient and like very friendly to learn. So we can proceed. We can do our next query. So select track name from this table where the BPM is greater than 100. This will, as you expect, return all the tracks where the beats per minute is greater than 100. So let's do that. Yeah, so this didn't return the entire table because we just wanted track name. But if we wanted, we can do the entire table. So song analysis 2. Yeah, so that's just gonna return the whole table. Okay, yeah, so there's logical operators because this is a relational database. So like basically like all of the, like all the math operations work here, like and, or, XOR. So this is just like one example. So we want all the columns where the BPM is like between like two numbers. So do that. It updates automatically. These are just a bunch of other queries. So we can select all of the columns where the beats per minute is greater than 100 with this new additional keyword called order. So order just like orders it based on the column name that you specify. So if it's like by popularity, then it's going to order increasing by popularity. So you can impose like a lot of conditions on SQL queries. Again, like this is all available on MySQL cheat sheet online. So we just go like one by one and do all these queries. So yeah, as you can see, we return the entire table where the popularity is increasing. With no regard to the ID doesn't really matter. So let's see. Okay, so order by genre and ID means that you order by genre first, and then within each genre, you order it by ID. Or maybe not. So weird. Oh no, I was right. Okay, yeah. So it orders it by genre first, and since there's like a bunch of different genres, it doesn't really matter. It's not very apparent. It's not very like apparent in the IDs, but it does order it like increasing, and that's by default. Okay, so there's another keyword called group by that allows you to collapse multiple records with a common value into groups. So, for example, like if we want to group by genre, we're kind of already grouping it by genre here. But if we want like the top representative of every single genre and collapse it into a table, then we could do that. So okay, so what this does, notice how it's not actually 20 values, it's 13 values because there are 13 genres, and the group by just means that you select the representative of every single column that you want specified. And so since we have 13 genres, there's only going to be like at most 13 track names that are outputted. So we can also, there's another keyword called count, and what this does is just return the count of like every single genre. So you see that there's like one of Canadian pop, one of reggaeton, So all these different counts. Okay, and then there's another keyword. I'm just going straight down. Actually, if you search up the MySQL cheat sheet, it goes down in order with like all these different keywords. So you can just like play around with this CSV file that's attached in the email and like do whatever you want with it. So we can do this, which will like intuitively, like it takes the maximum from the BPM, maximum from liveliness, maximum from popularity, and it returns that track name that matches all these categories. So we'll just get one. We'll get one result here. So that happens to be this track name. We can also do the exact same query. We can do something called an Alias. So basically, instead of saying max BPM, max liveliness, or max popularity, you can replace those column headers with something called an alias, which just replaces all of these column headings. So max BPM, you can just replace it for fastest. Max popularity, you can just say most popular. And we group it by genre again. So just do this query. Yeah, so. Okay. All right, so if we want to add another column, I mean, I already added another column. If you can see, select from song analysis 2. I already added another column on top of the existing CSV file, but if you want, we can do like personal rating 2 just to see like what adding another column looks like. So the way to do it, this is a keyword. This is also a keyword. Add column is a keyword. So we just do alter table song analysis 2. Okay, so this signifies to MySQL that we're going to add another column and then add column personal rating 2. So this is the column header. And then we want all of the data entries to be an integer, and we do not want them, we want them to be populated with 0 instead of null. So we say not null. Okay, this is so not cool. Column. Oh, okay. I think you have to do. All right, yeah, no. You have to do it all in one query. Okay, so yeah, no. I just take everything from the MySQL cheat sheet, or like everything from the MySQL docs. So yeah, I apologize. So hold on. Okay, so we have duplicate. So let's just do personal rating 2. Okay, so now we got it. We had to do all of that in one query. Sometimes if you put a semicolon in the middle of a query, it's gonna like return an error. It's very finicky. All the semicolons go at the end of a query. So if we do select, if we just look at our table now, so select from song analysis 2. It's even bigger. All the column personal ratings have been initialized to 0. So now we want to rate it ourselves. We don't think every song deserves a 0 rating. So I guess like we can update the ratings. So so the way we do that, there's another keyword called update. So you just update whatever this table name is. So song analysis 2. And then you set personal rating 2. Okay, so set personal rating 2 to 1 instead of 0. Okay, and then if we do the same query, so select all the columns from song analysis 2. All right, so everything has been initialized to 1. So I think all these songs are terrible, actually, except for Sunflower. Okay, so Sunflower, I'm going to initialize it to, I'm going to change it to 10. So update song analysis 2, set personal rating to 10, where okay, track name like Sunflower. This should work. Yeah, okay, so so select from song analysis 2. All right, cool. So it's been updated to 10. Yeah, so this is pretty much all I got. 10 minutes before we ended pretty well. So yeah, you can do a bunch of things. I apologize that I wasn't able to load the CSV file into another table. I don't know what happened there. I changed all the conditions, so kind of weird, but yeah, we were able to basically what this was just an import of a CSV from my desktop to a MySQL table I created. And we have to keep in mind that before we create a table before we import a CSV file onto a table in MySQL, we have to create the table with all the existing columns and then populate the table after. So that's all I got. If anyone has any questions or I mean, like, I will definitely share all the information on the website. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Stop sharing real quickly. Okay, and also for some housekeeping, this Friday there's going to be a hedge fund person that comes into investment club meeting, and we're going to send some further information about that. But yeah, we're going to send another email about that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed and have a great week.